Can you see Dez returning to Dallas?
No. And Skip, I don't know if you noticed when he's doing that overhand, that squatting with the kettlebell, his left knee was caving in. He needs to work on that. He needs to get a little bit more stability.
Oh, well, do you think it's an issue?
No, it's not an issue. No.
It's form.
Okay.
Skip, what I'm trying to understand, what's going to be the difference this year with Dez on the Cowboys than what we saw last year from Dez on the Cowboys? If they're trying to help Dak develop more as a passer, why would you bring Dez back? Skip, out of receivers, quarterbacks that qualified in the last 2 years, Dez and Dak was 37 out of 39 combos. That's where they are.
I know. I got it.
Qualified receiver quarterbacks.
Yep.
Now they didn't have great rapport to begin with. Now here's the guy, no OTAs, no training camp, no mini camp, missed the first 4 weeks of the season. He comes back and they're gonna what? Pick up where they left off? And you know where they left off with no connection. See, Skip, when Dez and I was when I listened to him talk and his tweets and IGs, he says, "I'm gonna sign when I'm right." Dez is not physically injured. Dez's mind, his psyche, is physically injured because everything that Dez is as a professional athlete is tied to the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys released him. He has not gotten over that, Skip.
He has not.
And this is why, he's watching Cowboys game and he's critiquing this guy. I knew this guy's going to be good. I told you that guy can play. He can't get it past him. And what he think he's doing is that showing his love and infatuation for the Cowboys is harming his ability to sign with other teams. Because at the end of the day, the teams want to know, where's your mind? Because remember, Skip, and this is totally different, what did they say about Cap? Where is his mind? We want to know, is football at the forefront? Well, if teams, all you doing is tweeting and talking about the Cowboys, there are 31 other teams not named the Cowboys. So Dez's heart, Dez's mind is only in Dallas. And I think what happened is that Cleveland guilted Dez into coming to visit. Because they say, Dez, we tried to reach out and Dez not calling us back. And Dez like, well, John Dorsey, I'm on my way, blah, blah, blah. I think they picked up early on Dez's heart wasn't in it, Skip. And if your mind is not in playing, he wants to play, but he only wants to play for Dallas.
I agree.
His psyche was damaged by the Cowboys releasing him. People don't know what that does to you. Take it from a guy that's been released. I was released after leading the tight ends in catches and going to the Pro Bowl. It does something to your psyche, Skip, because you start to question yourself. Well, if I did all this and they released me, Dez has fooled himself to still think he's a #1 receiver. And those closest to Dez have lied to Dez for a very long time.
They have.
And this is what I tell guys all the time. Surround yourself with people that tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And that's what Dez has done. People tell him what he wants to hear. Skip, this would make no sense to me because and it's very telling that the Cowboys released Dez, and they didn't even ask him to take a pay cut. They didn't ask him to restructure his contract. They said, nah, we good. But now somehow, after not being in, he hadn't played football in, 9 months? Almost a year, Skip, since January. So we're 9 months in. He's not nowhere near football shape. Dallas would be the logical choice, Skip, because he knows the offense. It's going to be virtually impossible for him to go anywhere else. You're going to learn the offense now? Skip, this is sad.
By the way, quick point to your point. Our man Bryce Butler, who has now rejoined the Dallas Cowboys, I've texted with a couple times, and he said he's having a hard time figuring out the new. They're new now because they have a new receivers coach with new routes, Sanjay Lal. So he said it's all new to me. So you don't think it would be even newer to Dez Bryant?
Maybe what they did, Skip, is they changed the steps. Maybe instead of going, some people run yards, some people go steps. So maybe they changed some of that.
I'm sure they did. So I unfortunately agree with everything you just said to a fault, because I'm here to tell you, I'm getting desperate as a lifelong Cowboy fan. And I applauded Jerry Jones in the offseason. You know I did. For finally having the guts to stand up and cut the cord with a young man, still fairly young man, he's 29, that he considered to be like a son to him, Dez Bryant. and I said, it's addition by subtraction. That was really the only significant move Jerry Jones made in the whole offseason was to cut Dez Bryant.
Correct.
And I thought, okay, clear the deck, start over, let Dak spread the ball, spread the wealth. Instead, I got to go to 88. My read tells me 88 because he's being single covered. And last year, to me, was just an unwatchable disaster. He led the league in drops. And yet, I thought that a collection of number 2 receivers, that somebody would emerge as the number 1. It has not happened. They now look like a collection of number 3 receivers to me.
But that's where they are.
Okay, so I sit back and I say, okay, my team can do 2 things that very few, if any, teams can do. My team can lead the league in rushing.
Absolutely.
And my team can play, I believe, top 5 defense.
Correct.
And rush the passer. Pretty good. But if your quarterback is playing with one hand tied behind his back because he has a collection of number 3s, you have to throw it to somebody sometime.
Yes.
Or slowly but surely, your number 1 rushing attack will erode with 9 men in the box. Because finally they'll just say, no, you can't do that anymore.
Nope.
We dare you to throw it to somebody, Dak, and somebody is nobody. Because I'm thinking, well, who is it? I told you the other day, the best receiver on that team in my humble estimation from over here is the running back. I just believe he is. I think it's Ezekiel Elliott. And by the way, he leads the team in targets so far. He's had 22 targets. That's the most targets of anybody in the team because he's their best, quote-unquote, wide receiver as well as their running back. Well, that's kind of bad. That's scary, isn't it? Sad, bad.
Can't be the
But
only
what about Skip? This is sad from Dez. It's almost like, let's just take this in normal society. You work a regular 9 to 5. You lose your job, but you show up every day with a sign looking for work.
What is that?
Okay. That's what he's doing, Skip Bayless. He's politicking on social media.
Okay, just remember who he is. He was born and raised in Lufkin, Texas, and he believes he was born to be nothing but a Dallas Cowboy, start to finish of his career. And again, it got yanked out from under him, and he was the most shocked man in the world when Jerry cut that cord.
Skip.
I know.
He could have prevented this.
I got it, but he didn't. So all of a sudden, we come to a Sunday night game this Sunday. That's a big stage.
Right.
That's pretty close to being a Monday night game, right?
It's the primetime game.
The world is watching.
Absolutely.
And even though Dallas-Houston isn't really a rivalry in the minds of Dallas because it's a one-sided rivalry, it's Houston's looking up at Dallas basically and saying, we want to be you because you've always been America's team. But it is considered for the championship of Texas, and many Texans would say that's for the championship of the world, right? So it's got some stakes to it. And you have Jerry Jones versus Bob McNair, and there's some owner pride going on there. It's who has the best young quarterback. Is it Deshaun or is it Dak? And Dak is playing with one arm tied behind his back because I don't see how, and Shannon, it kills me to have to sit back and watch Pat Mahomes throwing to Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill. And
Travis Kelce.
And Travis Kelce. And then I have to watch Matt Stafford throwing to Golden Tate and Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones.
What about Jared Goff?
Yeah, how about Jared Goff throwing to, wait a second, he's got Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and Brandon Cooks. He's got all that going on? Really? And I got Measly Beasley? I got Measly Beasley. He's my leading receiver.
And what did the Eagles do, Skip? They went out and got weapons for Carson.
They did.
That's what
he's back. The weapon is back.
If you want Dak to be that, Skip, good. You're a running team. But if you want Dak to be able to throw the football consistently and accurately, well, you better go get him somebody because this ain't it.
No, this ain't it. So I'm going to give it one more game. And again, I'll probably overreact.
Hold on. You want Daz back? After you campaigned the last 2 years.
I'm getting desperate because I got nobody. I had this vision of spread the wealth to, well, all of a sudden I thought Hurd and Deontay and maybe Terrence Williams reemerges as a real force on that team because there have been games like Kansas City last year. Go look at his numbers from that game. He was inactive the other day. So he's not even on the roster right now. And that wasn't because he was hurt or ill. He just lost his roster spot.
Scratch.
Okay, it was a healthy scratch. So I keep waiting for somebody to step up. Tavon, he caught one ball for 64 yards. The rest of it, he's caught 4 other balls for a grand total of 17 yards. And he dropped a touchdown the other day.
But what did I tell you?
You said it. He's not a wideout.
No.
But they're trying to make him one, and he has run past people.
Yes. Yeah, you hit that every once in a while, but he's a gadget guy. He's a gadget guy. And Tyreek Hill was able to take his game to the next level because he spent off seasons working on running routes. He says, I need to be more than a one-trick pony.
Okay.
Because at some point in time, people will just start to bail, and I won't be able to get deep.
Okay.
So I need to be able to run a comeback. I need to be able to run an out or a slant route or over route.
Yep.
So he says, like, okay, I'm going to get proficient at this. I don't know if Tavon has done that.
Okay.
Because you have to expand, Skip. Whatever you're good at, teams will go back, coaches will go back, and they'll break you down and say, you know what, this is all he wants to do.
Yep.
So we're going
I
to
got
force you to play to your weakness as opposed to playing into your lane, your strength.
Okay, so Alan Hearns had one big catch late in the game the other day on third down, but for the year, a one-hit wonder from Jacksonville because he had the one breakthrough
2015,
year.
I think.
Yeah. He has 14 targets so far and has caught 7 of them. That is not good enough.
Nah.
And Michael Gallup, the kid they drafted in the 3rd round from Colorado State, 12 targets, 5 catches is not good enough. So I don't have anything, and I'm starting to think, well, maybe even a bad Dez Bryant would be better than this. Seriously, that's how desperate I am.
Good receivers get 12, 14 targets in a game. You're talking about they got, through 4 games, got 14
Through
targets.
4 games.
What do you think about that?
I don't know.
There have been games that this year Julio had 17 targets. Antonio Brown's had 13, 14 targets. Mike Evans.
No,
yeah.
Juju had 19, didn't he? In
Yeah.
that game? Wow. Okay. I don't know. I can't defend it, and I can't fix it.
I get what Dak was trying to say. You don't need a number one. We just going to spread it around.
Yeah.
But you got to have somebody to spread it around too.
They're just spreading manure right now.
I can't believe I never thought I'd hear today. Skip Bayless want Dez back.
Oh, he's a little desperate.
Dez
What can I do? And again, he lives right under your nose. You know, obviously he's camped right there in Dallas, and he would crawl to Frisco to be a Dallas Cowboy,
He
right?
lived there last year.
I know. I got it.
He's a year older.
Well, maybe this would be the Dez redemption story, right?
That'd be good.
Maybe he would be humbled to the point he would come back and practice harder and hit the weights harder. I don't know. I'm desperate, man. I'm trying. I'm reaching.
So in other words, he's going to show up on time.
Yeah,
he's going to be professional
Be on
this
his
time
best
around.
behavior. Oh, okay.
New
Probably
Dez.
not.
New Dez.
Okay.
I hope he's listening, watching today. He's going to appreciate that from you, Skip.
No, he probably watching it. Say he going to come on. Then he'll get scared and
We're
chicken
still
out and
waiting
say, no, I
for
can't
our
do it.
special
When
guest.
he's right. When he's right, Skip.
He
You say,
chickened out on us 2 or 3 times.
yeah, but when he's right.